rinse and repeat for the next show. And the thing is nobody cares. The general public doesn't give a shit about Star Wars anymore. Don't you see? You terminally online weirdos have commandeered this fandom. You've driven all the normal people away. Congratulations. Congratulations. Star Wars is definitely not a fandom for normal people anymore. And it hasn't been for a good number of years. Like, I would never want I'd take a look at all the drama around Star Wars, and I'd never let my kid be a Star Wars fan. I'd be like, fuck this. This is weird.
I think most people are blissfully unaware of it unless you're in the thick of it. You're like on Twitter or whatever, where they all seem to hang out. You don't know about it. If you're not reading these obscure blogs or these, like, tech blogs and geek blogs that they're calling anybody who doesn't like it a bigot, you're unaware of it, because there's a lot of people who completely don't know they're bigots, apparently, even though they might themselves not be white, straight, or male. They're somehow a bigot because they don't like what you like, and only people that agree can be part of your quote-unquote community. I don't want to be part of your community.
No,
bitch.
I don't care. I don't want to be. I don't care. You can have it. And I mean this with all sincerity. You can fucking have it, because these fandoms get so weird that they get these gatekeepers in there, and they get so damn weird, and they start with the purity test, and they start with this and that.
It used to literally be for everyone for decades.
Yeah.
And no one cared.
Star Wars was like science fiction for normies for the longest time. Like the more cerebral people would watch Star Trek, but Star Wars was like action and adventure in space, and it was for everybody. And then at some point, it just became like this. It just became a franchise for terminally online weirdos. I mean, it is a weird fandom. And the same thing has happened with comic books. The same thing has happened with some sectors of tabletop gaming. Now, I'm not saying that people, normal people aren't fans of these shows, but like as far as the fandom, I guess, so you think of the people that go to the conventions and run the boards and whatever, that's all been taken over by a bunch of terminally online, mentally ill weirdos. And I don't want to be part of it.
I get mad.
I don't care.
What makes me mad is I completely let people, they think that I like it, and I say nothing. I'm like, hey, fine, whatever, you're allowed to like it. I often say you're allowed to like it, you're allowed to not like it. What I get mad about isn't even the shows and stuff so much as it is the fact that immediately people don't like it. We have these people that are usually associated with, the acceptable community, that it's okay when they threaten you. It's okay when they call you names and harass you and do everything they're claiming you do to them. It's okay when they do it to you. And that's where there's a problem. It's like, you can't say, like I say, none of it's acceptable. But, they claim that they say none of it's acceptable, but their community is allowed to go out and do that. And I'm like, I'm tired of it. I'm sick and tired of it. We all need to be united. And it's like, no, because that means we have to agree with what you say to be united. And that's not it either. Like, you're allowed to like this shit. Thing is, I don't think most people do, which is the problem. And which is why they're panicking.
And that's what all of this, it's every show. So like, we've got Schrodinger's fandom, where the fans are the blame for everything, but
they're also the vocal minority.
They're also the vocal minority, depending on what kind of fans they are. So we've got that contrasted with low viewership, abysmal toy sales, and just a general lack of interest from the general public. Even the mainstream media is calling out that Star Wars is a damaged brand, right? They've chased all the normal people off, but it feels like all of these dramas around every show are artificially produced, that they're being I think fires are being stoked by corporate machinations.
It might be true, like they only got a couple people threatened them or told them to drop dead or something, and then they're going to run with that and be like, oh my god, we're under attack.
Well, that's happened. That's happened. Yeah, I mean, we again, because of certain individuals associated with Lucasfilm, we had the target put on us and our family. Like I said, this shit has real world consequences, right? And I do not condone anybody who threatens anyone for any reason. Somebody could be the biggest dick face, cunt mouth, ass white munch.
That's how to be a lot of things at once.
Asshole, cunt, slut. You could be. Can I say that? Am I allowed to say that?
I don't know. I think it's interesting you're saying it, not me.
But I'm just saying, like, you could be the worst person imaginable, right? But like, you should be sending death threats to people. You shouldn't be doing that shit. Because people talk a lot of shit online, but they don't actually back it up in person.
But they don't leverage. They're going to leverage it. If you do it, it's not helping anything. It's just going to give them something to leverage. Even though they never show receipts, so some people think they don't get it at all. They just make it up. I'm sure they don't get them. They'll just say they did.
And sometimes it's like, what constitutes a death? Like, is this person like, oh, here's a picture of me standing outside your house? That's a lot different than like, I wish you would die. you know, but that's not nice. It's not nice
and
to say.
You shouldn't do it. But we've always said that. Like, we've always said you shouldn't do that kind of stuff. It's like, but you know, I'm just tired of this quote unquote community that decides who's an acceptable fan and who's not. It's like, you don't get to decide if people are fans or not. You don't get to decide that.
Yeah,
like you shouldn't get to decide. If your point is just to report on actual Star Wars information and keep like a log of what's what, it's not your job to decide who can and can't be a fan. It's not.
But they do. That's what happens. These mentally ill people, and they've done the same thing with tabletop. They've done the same thing with video games. They usually start out at the fan level. They start out like on the message boards, and then they kind of work their way into like a community manager role, and then they work their way into, you know, being volunteers at conventions. And eventually, they wind up as an intern at one of these companies, and then next thing you know, they've got the ear of somebody, or they're running the show, and they all kind of like snuck in and commandeered all these fandoms and made everything really fucking weird. It's weird. These fandoms are weird now.
You can't not like something, even if you have valid reason. I mean, any reason that you have for not liking something is probably a valid reason. But even if it's something stupid, you're not allowed to like it because you're a bigot, you're an incel, you're some istophobic whatever because you don't like it. Because it's not about, I don't like this character. You don't like it because it's black. No, I just think it's a poorly written, shitty character.
You're not even allowed to say that. It's corporate standing, which is even more weird. Like, you do understand this to Disney. This is just corporate product. You guys are just useful
idiots. They're just using
diversity
as a shield.
Yeah, you're useful idiots. And when it's not profitable, which it's not, they'll change it up.
Well, that's what I'm gonna tell people. If you like it, fine. Buy. You better go buy everything you can buy to send a message that you like it. But if you don't like it, guys, by watching the episodes, even hate watching them, you're just letting them. You're just being like, okay, well, we're getting clicks, you know, and they're gonna count it as engagement. Just don't watch the show. Don't buy the shit. Obviously don't send death threats, even though I think even if people didn't, they'd say they got them. Don't do any of that stuff. Just completely disengage.
I think that's the best way to deal with this. And I think, I mean, part of me is like, you know, is there a flicker of hope with some people that are old school fans are hoping these franchises are gonna, you know, come back? And I'm like, I don't think they ever are. You know, I thought about this the other day. I've been thinking a lot about this lately because I look at kind of the state of all these fandoms and I'm like, the things that we loved growing up, they don't really exist anymore. You know, Marvel Comics is not what it was. It's barely Marvel Comics now. Star Wars is not what it was. It's a zombie. They own the name, but they don't actually have the heart of it, you know? I mean, when George Lucas doesn't even like Disney Star Wars, they've totally lost the plot. And it's like, look, we have good memories of these things growing up, and that's fantastic. And there are lots of new shows out there, lots of new movies out there that you can be fans of. Just don't get fucking weird about it.
Right.
You know?
And not liking Disney Star Wars does not make you a bigot. No. If you're actively out there hating on people because of race, gender, sexual orientation, or whatever, well then you might be. They'll take that as you're being a bigot. But a lot of people just don't like it because it sucks.
Pretty much is dog shit. I'm sorry.
Okay, what makes me mad is that, like, you don't like diversity. No. I was around back in the day when diversity was in films and TV shows and nobody cared. Like, it didn't even faze you. It's like you watched it anyway. You didn't care. I was from a generation that we looked past that shit. We didn't care. What happens is you're trying to replace the actual work of making new things, good characters, good writing, good production values, with diversity, and then trying to say that makes up for everything else, and it doesn't. And the thing is, you're doing a disservice to the people you're claiming you're representing by giving them really shitty things to work with, and then saying that you don't like it because you're a bigot. That you're not helping. That mentality is making it worse. You need to stop talking. You need to just stop.
If you like a fandom, if you actually want more people to like the things that you like, stop being weird. Stop gatekeeping. Stop attacking people.
I understand the community might not like what you like, but it doesn't make them bad people.
I mean, we used to have arguments. You know, I was big into Transformers for a number of years. I was on a lot of forums for a number of years, and I am the guy who mouthed off to the producers and got the head on Megatron changed, by the way. So I was doing this shit, you know,
sure, he was
before blowing blogger. But yeah, so you're welcome, I guess. But like, you know, like what you like, don't like what you don't like. And here's the, you know, I think honestly, the root of it is they're angry that everybody doesn't see things the way that they
take it as a personal.
They take it as a personal. Again, this goes with, and I'm being completely serious. I'm not throwing shade at people. I'm not, but that is like kind of a mental illness, right? That's kind of like you're so invested in a property that you didn't create that if anybody doesn't like this cartoon show that you didn't create or whatever, you can't stand it. It drives you nuts because I think
they take it as a personal.
Yeah,
they're
you
insecure.
Want validation. Yeah, you want
they're
validation,
insecure.
Right.
If you don't like this and I like this and I feel unrepresented by this, then you hate me because you're a bigot. It's like no, you don't like it because it sucks.
Right. You can like somebody and be like, yeah, I think you're an okay guy, but your taste in movies, yeah, they're shit. I'm sorry, that doesn't mean we can't be friends. It's just we're not going to watch movies together because the movies you pick are going to be dog shit. And also you're weird because you're online attacking the chuds all the time. Isn't that weird? I think that's kind of weird. Go touch grass. When I was a kid, like I'd play D&D and I'd play video games, played a lot of video games, played a lot of D&D and watched way too many cartoon shows. But then I'd go outside and play baseball, ride my bike. I'd go touch grass.
Kids don't go outside anymore. Too busy on Twitter fighting the good fight, which
they're not kids though. They're like 30-year-olds.
I know.
That's what's so fucking weird. It's weird. Stop being weird.
Look, people are allowed to like what they like. Don't harass people who like it unless they're coming after you first. By all means, you don't have to put up with it.
You have a right to defend yourself.
You don't have to put up with it either.
You have a right to defend yourself.
Don't sit there at Wikipedia and tell us that you're not part of the community. You're not a real fan if you don't agree with us. When people in your quote-unquote community, and including yourselves, are out there saying anybody who doesn't agree with you is a bigot and you're not part of the community, they're not a Star Wars fan because they don't like what you like. You don't get to make that decision. You don't get to decide. Just like I can't tell you if someone likes this, they're not a Star Wars fan. I mean, because that wouldn't be, it's not my place to tell them they're not a Star Wars fan. So you know what? Sit and spin, stick it up your ass. I don't care. But I've been doing this. I've been part of Star Wars since as long as I can remember. I mean, yeah, I was really little when they first came out, like really little. But I've been part of this for my entire life. Loved it. Before a lot of you people were even around, born, before these Discords and shit existed. The character was named after me. Before I was even married to Neon. Years before I was even married to Neon.
She loved Star Wars before she loved me.
It's true. And I'm just sick of it. Like, if someone doesn't agree with you, that's fine. They're allowed to disagree with you. Just let them alone. And I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of the bullying, the incessant bullying. And it's by a bunch of immature, entitled, insecure people who take it as, you don't like what I like, so you don't like me. Well, if you're a fucking asshole, no, I don't. So, and also the Force is a male because they impregnate people. So there you go. Accolade said so.
Use protection.
Yeah, that's right. Don't chant unless you have a raincoat on. That's all I'm saying.
Oh God. Oh God. I have a mental image now. I don't want of it like space seed from the sky and witches in the rain. Oh God. God, that's somebody's fetish, though. Somebody's.
Well, clearly it's in the show. Anyway, can we please wrap this up?
Yeah, I'm tired of it. Aren't you tired of all of this?
I just think that
God.
I think it escalated awfully quickly over something so stupid.
Because it's manufactured. I don't think this is real.
I think that they might have got one or two messages. I don't think it's to the level or to the extent. And they do this every time. And then they go get the actors, and they go get the authors,
preemptively,
and they go get the make sure you put your hashtags that you support us because we're being attacked by bigots.
Yeah, before, I mean, this is what's so, like, they count on it. They want it. I think they want the attention, even the negative attention. They go out and they'll actually go talk to the actors, whatever, like, well, just say you're black and they're going to hate you. So we need to preemptively put out a, video talking about how, we won't stand with bigotry. Rinse and repeat for every actor or actress. Well, almost everybody. Some people didn't get anybody backing them up.
Like, Gina Carano?
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, she was fine until she didn't represent you the way you thought she should, and then how
yeah, exactly. It's
I'm just tired of it.
I just like, look, again, you can have your Disney Star Wars fandom. You get all yourself. You get all the action figures you want. You can find all the action figures at Ollie's.
And Disney gets all of you.
They get all of you. Disney, congratulations. This is the fandom you wanted. And you're not going to get the normies back. You had a chance.
I think most people don't. They've checked out.
They've checked out.
Anyway, please wrap this up.
Let's wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.